Welcome to Hot Take Thursday, where Andrea and I answer a listener question from the episode that we aired on Tuesday. Just a reminder that we might not always be right, although Andrea definitely thinks we are.
I'm right.
We aren't.
I don't know about
definitely.
you.
I mean, I have lots of opinions.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend, tell me how the week is going for you.
Week is going well. I am really looking forward to picking my daughter up from camp tomorrow. It's a big deal.
Oh,
I know she just did her
gone?
a week. Well, a week. I mean, we started to count it backwards to make ourselves feel better when we were like, we're abandoning our child at camp. It was technically 5 full days.
Yep.
Half a day when we dropped her off. And then we're supposed to be again in Wisconsin at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So bit of a hike, bit of a thing. We do have our lunch reservation at a place that will certainly serve cheese curds. So just remember that 80-20 rule, friends. But I'm looking forward to seeing her. It's just so freaking weird to have her gone.
You know, as you're talking about that, it gives me like a little anxiety because my daughter also goes to a sleepaway camp later this summer. It won't be her first time going, but my son is going for a very shortened one with a couple of his buddies for the first time, and I am a little nervous about it.
Yeah. You mentioned that you get really emotional when you drop your kids off.
Such a rare. Well, no, I get emotional. I like a lot more.
You
than
do. You
think.
With the hellos and with the goodbyes, especially.
I don't do well.
You will send me a text. You'll be like, I cried the whole way home. I'm like, oh my God, I have a dead heart. That's what I think every time I get one of your texts. I'm like, I've literally never done that. I have broken attachment. As soon as I walk away, I'm like, that's over.
Not me. I mean, well,
No.
You want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
Actually, and those of you who have listened to our episode on Tuesday, this will make a lot of sense. So there is a gas station, right when you pull out, you drive down and there's this great gas station with a solid gummy selection.
Girl.
I bought not one, but 2 bags of gummies, and I sent one of my friends a text, and I was like, I am bawling into my bag of gummy bears right now. And she's like, well, but are they good? And I'm like, yes.
You were like, it's making me feel better right now because eating is so much more than what we need for nutrition.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I bawled and I ate all the gummies after I dropped off. So I feel you, and I know how exciting it is to go and pick up. And now I'm having a little anxiety for my upcoming drop-off for one of my kiddos.
Sorry about that.
So I'm pretty sure we kind of just teased about what we talked about on Tuesday.
Yeah, we talked about healthy eating, which again, even those words make me cringe a little bit, but really just the true fact that what you put into your body impacts how you feel physically and mentally. And I promise you guys, if you hear this and you think, oh, I can't engage with that because I've got my own history or whatever, you can. You can.
You absolutely can.
It's not too hard. It's not too scary. Come into the weirdness with us, right? These things just they're complicated, and that's what we do best. It's complicated.
Yes, we do. We like to air our dirty laundry. It's good stuff. All right, you ready for this week's question?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Dear honest women, I'm working to live a healthier lifestyle, but I'm struggling with outside criticism. I come from a big Italian family who often makes comments about how, quote unquote, silly and dumb these new choices are. I'm dreading our upcoming family barbecue this weekend. Any advice on how I can navigate all the criticism?
I feel like I should not go first because you know that I am pretty direct and aggressive with my boundary setting.
Are you kidding? I'm going to let you get away with that now.
I think
go.
that
you go.
Okay. It depends on how long this has been going on and how much of a repeated issue it is, and maybe how many other things that this listener has tried to do to handle these comments, right? And we should get into what those other things are, but I may preemptively say something to the most powerful person, the matriarch, right, of the family, or the person who gives you the most shit. I might try to handle it outside of the moment and just say, hey, listen, this is before the barbecue. I know that I'm eating a little different than I used to. And I know that this kind of brings up some stuff, but I really need you to not say something about it because it honestly makes me feel so uncomfortable that I don't want to go at times. And I love our barbecues. I can't wait to see you guys. And so I gotta just ask that you don't say anything about what I eat because it's really impacting how I feel in our family. I'd go straight for that.
She would. She'd go straight for it.
I would.
I will say I relate to this listener so much because, so I always say I was like a kind of a hippie before it was cool to be a hippie. Like it was, wasn't trendy.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped eating gluten a very long time ago before it was a thing because my body can't digest it at all. So I have dealt with these comments for over a decade now, and they still annoy the ever loving shit out of me. I will be clear when I say that. However, now they're just to be expected, where it's like, oh, give me a slice of that pizza with the sprinkle on the extra gluten, which I want to be like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you want me to like put wheat flour
No, it
sprinkles
sprinkles gluten.
on it? Like, what are you talking
What
about?
are you talking about? Yeah.
And what I've learned is that there are people who will just never be able to understand why you're making the choices that you're making. You certainly can try to set that boundary, and I hope they respect it. I fully support that. I think also if you know that person or these people or certain people within your family are just not going to understand it, don't even waste your breath. Just stay true to yourself and just be like, sorry, this is what I'm doing. And you don't have to give an explanation. As Andrea, you've said that before with setting boundaries. You don't always have to give an explanation. I will also say really quick that sometimes it's not about you. It's about them. I see this with alcohol all the time.
Yeah.
Where somebody makes somebody else feel guilty about not having a drink. What I've come to realize through a lot of observation is a lot of times it's because they feel guilty about having a drink. They might feel guilty about eating that one thing that you're not choosing to eat, and it's projecting onto you as criticism. Be really in tune with what is yours and what is not yours.
And you don't have to tell someone like, hey, this is about you, not about me. That's not going to go over.
I don't know. If you're going to tell somebody that, though, will you invite me? Because I kind of want to watch.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go over very well, but it can help you to stay grounded in a situation where you go, God, my like aunt, and a lot of times it's someone who, maybe has been on and off of diets or hasn't or struggles with her weight or has her own stuff, right? There's just stuff there. My aunt always makes these comments and I know it's not about me. Then you just, you smile and nod and say, oh, no, thanks. I actually ate something before I came. Or, yeah, I'd love to have a bite of that. And you put it on your plate and you just leave it. Like, you don't have to go directly at something, but sometimes knowing it's not about you, it's about them, can help you to just stay grounded and let that stuff bounce off of you a little bit. You don't have to educate. I mean, in fact, I don't think you should, because sometimes what people feel is that you're doing something different and you're effectively telling them that they need to do something different, and you back away from that.
You know what else I'm thinking? If you're feeling a little spicier that day, right? A little spicier, you can also perhaps ask a question like, why do you care? what I eat. Right? Like that is actually what I'm thinking. Like, why does it matter?
Okay, but to be clear, you're not going to get a real answer there because in that moment of doing
No, but I think you can.
self-reflection, you
But I think you
think?
can. I
In the
do.
big
But
Italian family on Sunday dinner?
oh, girl, I am queen of figuring out how to get a response in a big Italian family. You got to say it very direct, very loud, and very like that's how they respond. Do not be gentle. Do not be quiet. I actually love. Yeah,
Are you
I
Italian?
uh-huh. Well, my dad was Italian. So whole Italian side of the family was my dad's side of the family, and my husband's mom is 100% Italian. So
Okay,
I
this
grown
explains
up
a
in it.
lot, actually. I'm
Doesn't
like,
it? Yeah. Uh-huh.
what do
Yep.
you care?
What do you care? What's it to you? Like that's actually would elicit in an Italian family a actual response. In a
Mm-hmm.
non-Italian family, probably not. You have to be a little bit more gentle, but truly, right? I joke and say spicy, but you also can lean in with curiosity if it's somebody who's constantly doing it, like a friend or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, and be able to say, "I'm genuinely curious why you care." Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to like start a fight with you, but I'm genuinely curious why you care that I no longer eat gluten. Why, like, why? Just out of
Right.
curiosity.
Right. And one of those things that they might not be able to identify is that for a lot of people, food is gathering, food is love, it's community, it's tradition. And so, just know that it might be threatening a sense of like togetherness for that person. And you can help overcome that by being like, I don't have to have the tiramisu to be happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here with you, right? And I think that that can help overcome some of those objections that people might not even understand why they're making them.
Because a lot of times they don't. I think a lot of times people make comments because they're uncomfortable. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
what else to say. I think a lot of times people's response would be like, I don't know. I actually don't know. And then it could lead, depending on the person, to a better conversation. Okay, well, you know what? Can we just not talk about that anymore? Because I don't like it. And a lot of times if they're just saying it to say it, making conversation, well, then they're going to stop doing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes we arm ourselves for battles when there aren't actually battles. We
Mm-hmm.
have to save them for the ones that we know are.
Yeah. And just a call out if you feel like it's a battle, if you feel like you have to arm yourself, you might be feeling a little bit insecure about the changes in your life. And so notice again, are you projecting a lot of meaning into the situation? Are you feeling hyper vigilant about criticism? Are you just nervous about making this change? Maybe some of that call is coming from inside the house and you can just let it lie.
I'm having such a hard time not saying, like, the call is coming from inside the house.
Honestly, I say that all the time in
The
therapy.
call. I'm like,
All
that
the
is
time.
every Scream movie of the 90s
Mm-hmm.
ever, right? The call is coming from inside the house. Also,
Yep.
why does everybody always run up the stairs? That
It's,
drives me bonkers. Why
yeah,
are you running up? Run out. Out,
right.
out, out. If the call is inside the house, you run out of the house. Sorry. I
Survival
mean,
101 with Jessica.
and grab like, some healthy food from your refrigerator as you run out. No, I'm kidding. All right. What do you think, my friend? Hot take?
Hot take.
Before we end this week's hot take, we want to remind you to subscribe. Follow the show so you do not miss any of our episodes. Also, share it with a friend. That is the best way to get other listeners to the show. And who doesn't want more honest conversation? The best way to do this is to share the show and say, hey, what do you think? Start an honest conversation in your life. Lastly, guys, help us out here. We need more reviews, and to
Mm-hmm.
be specific, 5-star reviews. So if you don't like us, don't review us, okay? Just don't. There's my hot take for you. But please take 10 seconds, 15 seconds, go to the show, click those 5 stars, leave a review. That is the best way that we get found and that these lovely bots out in the world recognize that we're a legit show and we're
Mm-hmm.
not going anywhere. So until next week, stay honest, ladies.